What's up, Fire Nation? If you don't play small and you're here to build, you're in the right place. I'm Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. Let's light it up. What's up, Fire Nation? If you don't play small and you're here to build, you're in the right place. I'm Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. Let's light it up. Oh, my mic was muted. Hello, 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 hello. Let me know if you guys can see me. Drop a fire sign in the chat. Hi, Miss T. Good afternoon, Miss T. Good afternoon. Miss T, you can hear me fine. Good afternoon, Teddy Williams. You can hear me. Miss T, it's such a blessing to see you, my dear. My star. Miss T, for everybody who doesn't know, she is our star student. And Miss T, next week we will be going back to business studies. And actually, we have a fantastic entrepreneur, Black entrepreneur here in Canada. No, you're not going to see me, Miss T. Hi, Summer. Hi, Garnet Reed. Hello, Summer. Beautiful summer day. Good afternoon. Hi, Garnet Reed. Blessings, and you're welcomed here. Yeah. So, Miss T, next week we're gonna go back to our regular programming of our business lessons, and we have a great entrepreneur. She's going to share her journey with us. You know what? I'm just going to leave it there. Next week, Sunday, she'll be here with us, and she's here in Canada, but she's also an immigrant, and she's a Black woman, and she is doing a fantastic job. So I'm glad to share her with you guys next week. So today we have a good show. Hello, Clip Cartel. Blessings, blessings. Today we have a good show because I've been hearing something. Tamar, blessings, greetings, greetings, greetings. Full house today. Well, almost. Blessings. So nice to see everybody checking in. This topic must be a very good one. So I've been seeing a lot of things in the space. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we know this channel is about business matters, but dancehall is very close to my heart, and we're dealing with the business of dancehall. So no, I'm not changing my niche, as some people may have wondered, right? I'm still dealing with business, but I love dancehall and I love the business of dancehall, right? So today we're going to talk about gold versus arena, because I've been hearing some things in the space and it made me remember some very, very significant lessons that I learned while I was away. Imagine learning more about the music industry and learning more about your country's music industry after leaving the country, from Jamaicans as well as from Black Americans. So I don't take my learnings lightly, and I'm here to share them with you. Hi, passionate kid. Blessings, blessings, blessings. So we're going to start. So today we're going to talk about gold versus arena. Now let me share my screen. We're going to start because I have my PowerPoint ready for you. Always. Tell me if you can see the screen now. Hold on. Tell me if you can see. Tell me if you can see the Tell me if you can see the PowerPoint. You should be able to see it. Just text, just write if you can see the PowerPoint or not. Can you see it? Just tell me yes, because I'm not going to start the lesson unless I get confirmation. So somebody write yes. I know most of you are listening, but you should be looking too. Yes, the slides are showing. Great. Thanks, Miss T. So today we're going to deal with gold versus arenas. And we're going to have an in-depth review because I want us to talk a bit about our culture, right? So I have some questions for you, Fire Nation, and for everybody else who is here from other nations, because I know that some of our Fire Nation people do love popcorn, do love alkaline, which is fine. As I said, this platform is for everybody to learn, right? We must have a safe place where we can all just come and learn. So this is no diss to any artist, but I'm just giving you some facts. Okay? Good. Now, when it comes on to this, I ask you that question. Who taught us what success actually looks like? Why do people argue plaques over arenas? Who decided, Fire Nation, Gaza Nation, every other nation that's here, who decided that plaques are the ultimate validation? Why does the public instinctively respect a gold certification more than a sold out arena? I want you to ask yourself this question. You know how we do it over here? Is every man asking for himself, who defined the scoreboard? I want you to sit in that. Who defined the scoreboard? There's a question that nobody really asked out loud. That same question, who taught us what success looks like, right? When people hear the gold certified or Billboard #1 or Grammy nominated, they feel something, they feel like, yeah, that means that it's official. Yeah, that means that we're validated. That feels authoritative. But pause. Who designed that scoreboard? Was it our culture or was it the industry? So, Fire Nation, and I'm not leaving out any other nation, Gaza Nation. Tonight, we are not attacking plaques and we are not attacking labels. We are going to examine power structures. Gold plaques, yes, they measure streams, but sold out arenas measure bodies. We're going to talk about friction. This is something that I learned away. Friction and frictionless, right? Right? We're going to talk about how that applies to streams versus getting bodies in a building or an arena, right? If 40,000 people stream you, it's true. That is impressive. I'm not taking anything away from any artist. So I want you to hear me clearly because I do like popcorn very much. But Vibes Cartel is my artist. These are facts. But regardless, I can still be unbiased, which I am. But I give it to you on a platter for you to think about it yourself. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just giving you the information. Afterwards, I can give you sources. Think about it with me. If 40,000 people stream you, yes, that's impressive. If 40,000 people show up in one city on one night, that's coordination. Which do you think requires more energy to produce? And who benefits when we are trained to value one metric above all other metrics, especially other metrics that count towards our culture, where our music comes from? So tonight I went back in history for what I learned, which is the payola history. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about playlist gatekeeping. We're going to talk about the algorithm economics. We're going to talk about cultural versus commercial validation. We're going to talk about impact, reach, and influence. No conspiracy. We're just going to talk about the systems. So, you guys ready to start? We're going to start at the beginning. If you're ready, let me know if you're ready. Hey, Dancehall War, blessings. Blessings. Thanks for passing through. Adrian Bailing, good day, blessings. Francisco Tang, blessings, blessings. All right, so we're gonna go and then we're gonna have an open floor so you guys can call in after. But let's get to the lesson first. Did that. Every institution, I want you to know this. Take a picture, do whatever you need to do. Every institution does three things. And that's why I always said to you about the Grammys being an institution. Every institution does three things. One, it controls access. Two, it controls distribution. And three, it controls the measurement system. This is what power structures do. In music, labels historically controlled the radio, retail placement, media coverage, award nominations, chart submissions, distribution logistics. This is historical fact. But I want you to remember that when you control distribution, you control exposure. And when you control exposure, you influence what becomes popular. Now, here's my fire argument. The labels shaped a lot of metrics that we put over our culture. The labels shaped the metrics, then convinced everyone the metrics equal all in all success. Right? So, step one, what did they do? They defined what success means, right? Major labels historically controlled, as I said before, the press relationships, the award show influence, the marketing budgets, the shelf space, the distribution, and the radio play. You can look it up if you don't believe me, right? So because they control the distribution channels, they also controlled what got visibility, right? So they positioned the outputs of that system as proof of greatness. So that's why you have like the Billboard chart positions, the RIAA plaques, the radio spins, the Grammy recognition. So the industry basically said to everybody, if it charts high, it's important. But listen, what did I just say? Think about it. Charts reflect exposure, and the exposure was controlled. So they created artificial scarcity and gatekeeping before streaming. And before streaming, if a label didn't push you, you didn't get any radio rotation, you didn't get retail placement, you didn't get tour sponsorship, you didn't get media features. So they became basically like the gatekeepers of validation, right? And they framed that validation as proof of talent, right? But all it was access plus capital plus relationships. Now, yeah, so they shifted the cultural power towards basically quantifiable metrics. So they amplified things like the gold and the platinum plaques, Billboard rankings, first week sales, right? And SoundScan numbers. But so over time, what did that do to the public? Over time, the public, including us from a different culture, we internalize that more sales equals to more importance. More plaques means that it's a better artist. More radio means that it's a bigger legacy. It isn't brainwashing per se in a hypnotic sense, but it's narrative conditioning, right? And the repetition of that, it builds belief. That's why I always say to you, every time I do a live, I say to you, check these things out for yourself and make sure that you're not carrying somebody else's beliefs. That can get very heavy. First of all, carrying your own belief and walking in your own truth, that's heavy enough, right? But carrying somebody else's belief, no, don't live like that. So check it for yourself, right? So the industry didn't just promote artists, they promoted the metrics, right? Good. So that narrative shaping is repetition. So people respect numbers because numbers, they feel objective. But those metrics were built inside a particular system. And that system is not neutral. These are facts, right? So, all right, fine. What does success in music then look like, Julia? Well, for commercial success, as we talked about commercial success, it is there. We can't just close our eyes and say, oh, we wish. This is what it is. We're just dealing with the facts. Commercial metrics is charts, certification, awards, first week sales. Cultural success, though, that shows up in arena loyalty, movement identity, fan mobilization, and longevity. These are facts, right? Good. So back then, it was the DJs, the physical shelf space. Now, playlist placement, algorithm ranking, discovery systems is the same structure, but it's just different tools. Different tools, right? And for the algorithm economics that we were talking about, platforms reward, engagement rate. We all know that. Completion percentage. We all know that even with YouTube, skip control, and early velocity, right? Now, let's get the backstory, my Fire Nation. We're going to have a brief history of payola, right? And I'm going to show you the structural influence precedent that is still there today, right? It's important because it proves influence has a precedent, right? You're going to see that they basically do the same thing, but legally. Good. So in the 1950s to the 1960s, right, the record labels, they used to pay the radio DJs to spin certain records. So the result of that, like I was saying to you before, songs that got played more, they became familiar, they became popular, they sold more, they charted higher, right? Then Congress investigated that, right? And payola became illegal. Now, here why that matters. The industry, they learned something powerful. They learned that exposure creates demand, and control exposure. You can influence the charts, you can influence perception. So even when direct cash for spin stopped, the relationships remain. Label and radio partnerships, promotional budgets, exclusive premieres, industry access. The lesson wasn't stop influencing. They didn't get the point of it becoming illegal, basically, right? The lesson was influence legally. It's kind of like when you do your taxes, right? And without saying too much, you find ways to do stuff, right? Legally, right? So you can't get in trouble because it's legal, but you just have to know the rules. That's why a lot of people say you learn the rules first before you try to break them. These are facts. I'm just telling you facts. What you do with it is what you do with it. Right? Anyhow, fast forward. Let's pick it up. So radio becomes basically the playlist, but the same structure remains. Control over visibility shapes charts. Now, the cracks in the modern structure. If an artist fills back-to-back arenas, though, without heavy mainstream chart validation, that challenges their narrative. That challenges the centralized metric narrative. Why? Because it proves that cultural authority can exist outside of institutional certification. And we prove that, Jamaican people. I want to say that again. It proves that our cultural authority can exist and still be significant outside of their institutional certification. And we prove that, Jamaican people. So if we really want certification like that, in my humble opinion, we should do it ourselves. We can do it. But that's for another life. That's for another life. Anyhow, let's continue. That doesn't invalidate the plaques, but it does challenge their supremacy. Now, let me say this again. I'm not taking anything away from Popcorn because it was actually significant for him to get over 40,000 in a country like Canada. And I'm going to go into that, right? But you cannot water down arena either because that's a high friction activity. And I'm going to explain all of that to you, right? So now, understand yourself. Let's dive into the psychology of validation. Humans respond to signals of legitimacy. It's true. When we hear all of these things, the Billboard, Grammy, Gold certified, we subconsciously translate that as, oh, authority has approved us. But here's the trap. That psychological structure reinforces their industry power. You know me, I'm a rebel against all systems, right? The system says these metrics define excellence. That's what it says. So then you have the artists, then some of them start to chase those metrics, right? And fans defend those metrics, and the cycle maintains itself. Why? Because we give them the power, right? So let me explain this carefully. Artists are told that first week sales matter. They do matter. If you want to chart, as I said, commercial is a part of it. But chart matters, certification matters, award recognition equals status. So let me ask you this. What happens to touring power? What about movement building? And what happened to our cultural loyalty? Right? I'm not saying that these things are not important. No, it depends on what goal you're going after. No pun intended. Right? But our cultural loyalty sure as hell does matter too. Because they make a lot of organic strength secondary in mainstream narrative. Right? And part of it is because the numbers, they unlock label budgets and brand deals and press prestige. That's true. So the definition of success becomes centralized. So we're basically ignoring what also counts. Right? Good. Yeah, as I said, the artists themselves, they bought into it because awards and charts make them feel like, determine their booking power, their touring budgets, sponsorship deals, and brand contracts. So what? They want to be successful. I understand that. Definitely. They're not just doing it for the fun of it. Right? But I'm just trying to show you the facts of the system. Right? Rather than cultural depth, loyalty, long loyalty, and live loyalty, and community building. Yeah. So the streaming platforms, it continues the structure even today. The streaming replaced the CDs, but not the power dynamics. And I want you to think about that. Because the algorithms reward label funded promotions. These are facts because they pay for it. The algorithms reward playlist placements, and the algorithm rewards ad spend. So those numbers become the playlist badges, monthly listener counts, and viral indicators. Once again, Fire Nation and Gaza Nation and all the other nations that are here. Industry access leads to visibility, which leads to numbers, which leads to perceived legitimacy. And the cycle repeats. Why this matters in the debate? Why? Because exposure, we're going to talk about that, stream accumulation and certification acceleration. It's a cycle. See the cycle. Exposure to streams, streams to plaques, plaques to the narrative. Right? So the labels, they didn't just promote the, as I said to you, they promote the idea that the metrics they control are the definition of greatness. By shifting validation towards measurable, centralized numbers, they ensured that their influence remained central. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant business model. I got to tell you that because after when I was picking it up, I was like, this is brilliant. It does its marketing for itself because the people keep it going. Their influence remains central. Their infrastructure remained necessary. Their gatekeeping remained valuable. Because if plaques, charts, and awards define success, and they influence plaques, charts, and awards, then do the math, man. You know what I mean? I know everybody over here are smart, well-thinking people, so I don't have to spell it out. I don't talk to my audience like they're idiots because I know all of them are smart, or you wouldn't be here. We have a certain type. Their power remains intact. They don't have to do a damn thing. Excuse my language. No, I want you to listen to me, Fire Nation. Cultural dominance cannot always be captured in certification counts. Arena power, diaspora loyalty, and movement building represents forms of impact that centralized industry metrics cannot measure and don't fully measure. When an artist can fill arenas with limited institutional support, it challenges the idea that chart metrics equal cultural authority. These are facts. I'm sorry if you don't like what I'm saying. I really am. I'm not sorry. Said it. I said it, right? Because this is the information that I want. I want us to be conscious, and I want us to be conscious of what we have. I want us to be more conscious so we can take care of what we have. I don't want dancehall to end up like Air Jamaica. Who know, no. So we need to do some cultural self-esteem digging in a lot of ways. Anyhow, I'm not scolding, I'm just talking about, what I think about. Good. So the gold plaques, no, they do measure something. Again, I never said they weren't important, so don't twist my words. It's a tape. Gold plaques actually measure distributed consumption, algorithmic replay, market penetration, and scale, which is great. That is called low friction engagement. We're going to talk about popcorn. Okay. A Canadian gold certification from Music Canada means 40,000 units sold at least. That is streams and sales combined. What does that tell us? Okay. That tells us that he has strong streaming numbers in Canada, very good radio rotation, which he did and does. Effective label distribution, OVO, October's very own, run by Drake. Drake is Canadian. He has a lot of contacts here. And the Warner backing played a role in market penetration. You would be very naive to think not. Crossover accessibility, that doesn't mean it wasn't good. But he gave him what he needed to push it to the limit. And it did well, and I'm happy for it. Crossover accessibility into mainstream Canadian audiences and successful digital consumption. Okay? That's what a gold plaque tells us. Doesn't take anything away from the artist or how good he was. And I love to see our people get a great chance. But these are facts. You can put it to any artist. And that's what I do too. When I write these things, I say, let me make sure I'm not being biased. Let me think of another artist. I would say the same thing. Because I'm not talking about the artist. I'm talking about the systems. Good. So, popcorn, what it represents, the gold plaque, it represents market success. It represents streaming volume. It represents industry-backed performance. And it represents geographic dominance in one territory, a big territory, right? But plaques are passive consumption metrics. Influenced by label budgets, yes. Boosted by playlisting algorithms, yes. It's not proof of live mobilization. That doesn't mean that popcorn doesn't have an active popcorn unruly crew. Doesn't mean that, right? But it's not proof of it. It just so happens that he has it as well. No, a plaque means people streamed this. It does not automatically mean that people would show up in a $15,000 capacity arena. These are facts, people. It doesn't automatically mean that. And again, I know people like to twist people's words on social media. I am not saying that popcorn couldn't fill a 15,000 capacity arena. That's not for me to say. And it's not for you to know what I think. That's not the point. The point of what I'm saying is, right? The plaque don't mean that automatically the person would be able to fill a 15,000 capacity arena. Think about it for yourself. Now, yes, as I said to you before, what it takes to earn gold playlist access, marketing budgets, label leverage, PR, exposure accumulation, right? What does it represent? It represents scale-based validation, which is fine. It's reach. Remember we talked about reach last time, right? It represents commercial sales success. It's quantifiable, tied to sales and streams, right? Boosted a lot by label marketing machine. True. The strength is the gold plaque proves measurable mass consumption and industry validation. That's what it proves. That's great. But every strength, it always have a little weakness. The limit is the gold plaque don't always represent cultural dominance or real life fan intensity. That is why I'm saying we should not water down sold out arenas, because you're talking about your culture here and and what shows as cultural dominance. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Now, to be fair, I have some bands fire for you. Popcorn's gold plaques, they prove that he penetrated a mainstream Western market, which is not easy, right? He built international commercial viability. That means that he had substance, right? That means that he was able to use the opportunity well with what he had, his God-given talent. And he achieved certified sales recognition within a G7 country. That matters, right? However, to be fair, Cartel's arena power suggests cultural gravity, emotional command, and legacy level loyalty, especially because it was back to back, an ability to mobilize without heavy mainstream radio infrastructure. These are facts. These are facts. That is high friction, by the way. And we're gonna go into it. That's high friction. This is a high friction activity. Gold plaque show, the industry accepted you. Sold out arena show, the people crowned you. Gold is reach, arena is power. Gold is visibility, and arena is command. Right? So now let's connect it all together. Oh, before I continue, let me check on you guys. Everybody doing good? Shernette Brown, blessings up. Blessings, Cavill Johnson's blessings. Blessings, DJ. Blessing DJ, say that tip, yes. Blessing Invest. This means Champa is the blueprint. He is a blueprint for commercial success. Invest. He is, and I did a live on that, so you should check it out. For the commercial blueprint, a lot of people want to follow that because he was successful commercially, right? But that's a different type of different argument. But I did the live on that, right? Garnet says it's great to have certifications, but to choose North America validation always end up at. That's right, Garnet. That's right. That's right. Germs ZR11. Big up. Big up. What about meritocracy? We are biased to cultural movement. What was deemed as interesting doesn't mean it's the same appeal everywhere. We're gonna get to that. Invest. As I said, it's two different types of appeal, but we can't leave out the cultural. You can't leave out the cultural impact and influence. Cannot. Right? Right? We're gonna get into that, and by the end of this, maybe you have a different view. Hi, Skara. Blessings, and blessings, Rani. All right, so let me go back to the lesson for the people on the playback. So, and I'll come back and I'll read your stuff. I didn't read it before. Apologies for that. Gold plaque versus arenas. Now, violation, let's collect it. One measures scale, another measures depth. When the industry trains society to value scale more than depth, they preserve the metrics that they influence. That is structural power preservation. Facts, right? Good. Said that. So gold plaques measure reach and market penetration. They tell us how many people consume the music, how well it performed inside the industry system, how successful the global market push was. But they do not measure automatically emotional loyalty, cultural dominance, street impact, or era ownership, which is also important. Remember, I told you dancehall is not just music, right? So, yes. So here my strength argument. Gold plaques prove measurable mass consumption and industry validation. They don't always represent cultural dominance or real life fan intensity, right? Arenas measure power. The gold says people streamed it, and arena says people believe in it. So as with cartel, Mr. Palmer, an artist may have fewer plaques, less crossover radio play, and smaller mainstream award validation. But if that artist can fill arenas, can move diaspora crowds, can create generational loyalty, and inspire cultural identity, then their cultural authority may exceed their plaque count. I want to say that again. Their cultural authority may exceed their plaque count. Now, here's my argument for why arenas matter more in this case. Because plaques can be boosted by label push. I just explained that. Arenas require direct fan investment. It's a high friction activity. I'm going to explain it soon. A plaque is consumption, an arena is commitment. A plaque proves popularity, an arena proves loyalty. Think about it. Streaming is convenient. Attending a concert, though, is intentional. You have to plan. You have to buy the ticket, right? You have to plan your ride. You have to plan all of that stuff. You have to coordinate if you're going with other people. High friction. This is what a sold out arena measure. I don't want you to ever lose sight of this. Financial commitment. And I have charts for the visual learners that's going to come up to show you the difference. Physical presence, emotional alignment, because they have to feel to go and want to go, and coordinated turnout. This is a high friction engagement. You guys can look it up if you don't believe me. There is such a thing. Sold out back-to-back arenas, cartel selling out arenas means 15,000 to 20,000 people purchase tickets. There was physical presence, emotional loyalty, cultural command, right? And the back-to-back nights amplify that, right? Multi-generational fan support, an ability to convert cultural influence into physical economics. Arenas represent activated fan base power, right? Real-time economic power, real-time community loyalty, and real-time cultural momentum, right? Fans must actively show up there. That's why it's high friction. Tickets are purchased. It's not passively streamed, right? It requires belief, not just exposure. I can stream a song and while I'm driving, right? The arenas have live selling power. It represents real-time fan loyalty, right? The fans actually physically show up and pay. It reflects emotional attachment. And that is harder to fake. These are facts. Because people have to buy the seats. Selling out arenas proves an artist can make people physically, can move people, physically, not just digitally. Now, there are limits to that. Touring depends on geography. That's true. Visa issues. That's true. Right? Marketing budgets and brand positioning. That's true. So that's a limit. Remember, I told you I'm going to be fair. I'm just giving you the strengths and the limits. I'm giving you just the structure. So you do with it what you want. Okay? Again, gold plaques measure how far your music traveled. Arena measure how deeply your music moved people. Again, gold is consumption. Arena is devotion. Gold is certification, but arena is definite cultural proof. Again, I'm not taking anything away from popcorn. You think of course I'd want Vibes Cartel to get gold too. Right? Of course. But when it comes to this conversation that I've been hearing a lot of watering down of arenas. Good. A plaque reflects exposure multiplied by consumption. Right. It proves digital replay value, market performance, and commercial viability. Good. But it does not require physical presence, in-depth devotion, coordinated fan turnout, or real-world community activation. You can stream a song while driving. Yeah, I wrote it. True. That's what I know it's true because I wrote it and I said it. You can stream passively. It's low friction. You can replay something casually. This is why streaming is frictionless. It's a low friction activity. Right? We talked about this already, and I already told you why why selling out arenas is high friction, because of everything that goes into you buying a ticket and showing up and being there and dealing with traffic. Right? Good. Now, selling out back to back, what does that mean? You know what that means from a marketing perspective? It means that demand exceeds supply. That's what that means. That means the loyalty is deep, the cultural energy is high, and the fan base is activated. That is not passive, people. That is organized devotion. Back to back sellout. Maybe if that another night, it will sell out again too. Now, you can put that to whichever artist you want. I'm not being biased. I'm just giving you the facts. Now, why arenas can carry more cultural weight? A plaque measures replay. Fine. An arena measures commitment. A plaque, facts are, can be influenced by marketing budgets. I just explained that. Go back if you don't remember. An arena cannot be faked. The seats must be filled. A plaque reflects algorithmic amplification. That's true. An arena reflects emotional urgency. They want to go and see the artist. Streaming requires a click. An arena requires a decision. Everybody who has gone to a show know that. They made the decision already. Those who go into new rules already know that they're going to new rules. These are facts. Now, yes, let's be balanced. Gold plaques, they do matter. Again, I'm saying it again because I don't want anybody to twist my words. They show market penetration, cross territory success, commercial system acceptance, which is great. However, they do not automatically prove era ownership, movement status, loyal fan base strength, or cultural command. And I'm not saying that popcorn does not have loyal fan base strength. I'm saying a gold plaque does not prove that. Fire Nation, a gold plaque means they streamed you. Sold out arenas mean they chose you. One proves popularity, the other proves power. Told you about this, the friction model. Low friction are streams, passive listening, and autoplay, like playlist. High frictions are tickets, travel, scheduling, financial cost. What does that mean? Why would they do that? Why would they teach that and set it like that? It leads to you inferring and realizing that higher friction is a stronger loyalty signal. It is, because of what you have to go through to get it. These are facts. These are facts. That is why, not because you can sell 40,000 or 50,000 streams, means that you can sell out a 50,000 or 20,000 capacity arena. That's why. Now, let me ask you something, Fire Nation. And everybody else. All of you are here now. You're a part of Fire Nation. If you had to do one of these next week, which one would be harder for you? Think about it and don't be biased. You don't have to answer. Option A, generate 40,000 distributed streams across a large country like Canada. Or option B, convince 40,000 people to show up physically in one city on one night. Which one do you think would be harder? That's why I say I had to do this live, because I listened to the discussions. And there's a lot of watering down. I'm not saying gold isn't important. I love gold. I was an athlete. What are you talking about? Still love gold. Right? Men die for ribbons. That's an old saying. I don't remember who said it. Something I read a long time ago. Which is true. The Army, Navy. That's fine. People want legacy. But let's not water down the us that makes it possible. Next. Yes, so this is why it's low friction. Streams require a tap on the phone, passive replay, background listening. Arena requires intent, money, coordination, transportation, emotional alignment. I know I keep driving home that point because I really want you to get it. Right? Higher friction engagement is statistically harder to convert. These are facts. Actually wrote. Oh my God, I cut myself up sometimes, I swear. That's behavioral economics. You guys can look it up. Behavioral economics. Look it up if you don't believe me. It's not bias. Right? So now let's get back to the central question. Who decided plaques matters most? Who controls the measurement systems, and what is success, and who defined it? Right? Every industry preserves power by controlling the access, again, controlling distribution, and controlling measurement. Past that. Okay, I didn't delete these ones. 1 second, guys. Yeah. Do I want to go deep in the algorithm? No, I'll save that for another live. One second. So, once again, exposure leads to the streams, leads to the certification, leads to proof of greatness, according to them. This is not illegal, it's structural advantage. So major labels understand the algorithm velocity. Independent artists, they often cannot compete at scale without capital. So what happens? The system reinforces those who can fund exposure. Numbers follow exposure. The exposure follows the capital. The capital follows the institution. That is economic gravity. Fire Nation, I always tell you, always follow the money. Always follow the money. And never forget the history of things. Right? Never forget. Okay, so we passed that. Said that. RIA. I'm going to get into impact, reach, and influence. Breakdown. I shouldn't say verses, I should say and. So again, reach is how far your music travels. That's measured by streams, territories, cross-genre penetration. Influence. This is a very layman explanation. I have very good explanations of it on my other live, so you can check them out. But just for brevity's sake, since this is not what we're actually talking about, it's just a part of the topic. Influence is how much others imitate or align with your style, measured by artists copying cadence, slang, aesthetic shifts, and other things as well. There's a lot more to it, right? I just wanted to keep it brief. Impact, the intensity of the reaction you create. right? What's left, the mark that's left. Measured by cultural shifts, debates, loyalty, ideological identity. Now, I want you to understand something. An artist can have high reach and low impact. And I'm not saying that that is popcorn. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just telling you facts. An artist can have high impact, but limited mainstream reach. An artist can have high influence and moderate plaques. These are separate vectors. I want you to understand that these are separate measurements, totally separate. So when society itself and when we allow them to collapse, gold equals greatness, that important nuance that all of these things are three different vectors, it disappears because you muddle everything into one. Who benefits from that? Not the artist, definitely not the culture, the system and the labels. That's why it's important for us to dig deep, you know what I mean? And start to protect our dancehall more because it is our product. And we're only going to be able to do that when we start to have some cultural self-esteem about it. Now, talked about that. So we have some charts here for visual learners. And this is what I want you to know. I'm going to burn up some false equivalences I've been hearing in the space. Reach does not necessarily equate to impact. Not because somebody have high reach means that it equates to impact. No. Influence does not equate to reach. Cultural power requires alignment of all three. Doesn't mean all three has to be equal, right? Because every artist is different, but it needs to be aligned. Good. So you shouldn't say verses. I wrote that wrong. So impact, right? High reach, keep going up, keep working, lead to impact. High influence, definitely lead to impact. Cultural power, the artist's legacy is defined by how all three forces interact, not by one metric alone. Impact, reach, influence. Okay? They affect each other, definitely. As I taught you before. If you have really, really high influence, it leads to impact. If it's long lasting and really deep, it leaves a mark. Remember, I was telling you about the fire flame and the little burn mark that's left on my forearm. Right? Right? So it's very, very important. The reach will not last without some kind of influence. Because if you spend a lot of money on a bad product or a bad song, that reach not going to last. No marketer work themselves going to spend the money that way. No label work themselves going to spend the money that way on something that's not returning. Everybody's always thinking about return on investment. These are facts. So they work together, but they are different from each other. Good. Impact is basically intensity, reach, distance, influence, replication. That's one off. This is why one cannot replace the other, because an artist can have plaques but struggle to fill arenas. An artist can have fewer certification but command stadium level or arena level loyalty. Both are achievements. Both require different psychological relationships with the fans. Commercial consumption does not equate to cultural embodiment. So we need to start to separate them. How we see things matter. I don't know when that mentality started with how we see things don't matter. We clearly see it because we show up at the arenas. Nobody has to convince us. I know. I did a lot here. But it's a lot of information. No. Vibes Cartel's arena power. It's a high friction activity. I just taught you that. High commitment, high impact. 15K to 20K, 2 nights, sold out. $80 to $300 per person, right? Limited. Okay, so financial commitment, that's the amount, 80 to 30,000. Financial commitment for a stream, 0.003 to 0.01 per stream. Loyalty density for selling out an arena, you do the math. Loyalty density distributed globally, right? Marketing influence, very high. Marketing influence, limited to moderate. Friction level, high friction. Cultural signal, I belong to this movement. Cultural signal, this song is popular. I like this song. Right? Harder to achieve on the arena side because it takes deep fan loyalty, real world demand, cultural mobilization, and emotional connection. Why gold is low friction? Because it's easier to accumulate. Wide reach, stream volume, market penetration, commercial appeal. Arenas measure devotion, plaques measure consumption. Impact is shown when fans take action, not just when they press play. Okay? Now, let's look at it even deeper. Consumption versus commitment, the real measure of impact. Required effort. Gold plaque, sold out arenas. Type of support, distributed streams, low friction. That's on the plaque side. Type of support, physical attendance, high friction. Fan action required, I told you. For the gold side, click, stream, repeat. Fan action required for the arena side. Buy the ticket, travel, show up. Active commitment. Financial investment for the stream, 0.003 cents per stream, average. Financial investment for the arena, 80 to 500 per ticket, plus travel, plus merch, plus food, plus your date. Right? Loyalty intensity for the gold plaque, widespread. Mild attachment. Loyalty intensity, concentrated, extreme loyalty. Verification, digital units for the plaques. It can be inflated. It's a digital unit. I just explained that to you. Verification for the arenas, physical bodies. That cannot be faked. That can be fake. Marketing influence for the gold plaque, high. Playlist, ads, algorithm. Marketing influence for the arenas, low. Word of mouth, street team, real fans. So it didn't need that much marketing dollars for it to take off. Impact level for the gold thing, scalable, reach. Impact level for the arena, intense, cultural power. Okay. Reach is maxed by marketing. Impact is earned by loyalty. Higher friction equals to higher impact. Same thing I was doing here. Right? Same. Good. I made this because I want the visual learning to see and understand. Because not everybody learned the same. So you have to think about everybody. Good. We're almost finished, and I'm going to open the floor so anybody can call up and disagree or agree or ask. The friction model, low friction, streaming, autoplay, playlist flow. We spoke about this. Higher friction equals to stronger loyalty signal. It's true. Like with Canada and with popcorn, again, as I said, right? It is a sales milestone. It is a sales milestone because the units are calculated through the on-demand streams and the digital downloads and the copies, right? So yes, it does measure consumption volume, right? And listening activity and distribution reach and streaming velocity. So I am not taking anything away from earning gold at all, right? Good. But realistically, what it takes to earn a gold plaque in the modern industry right now, what it requires is strong labor relationships or strong independent digital strategy, right? Playlist placements, radio spins, which is still influential in a lot of territories, marketing spend, public relations, visibility, digital algorithm alignment, often international streaming accumulation. That's not easy to do without the system or the money behind you. I didn't say it was impossible, but we can't hide from the facts. Okay. It does not require 15,000 people in one room or emotional mobilization. Yeah, we spoke about this. Yeah, here's the psychological difference between the two activities. A stream says, I enjoy this, and a ticket says, I commit to this. Streaming is frictionless, as I said before. Concert attendance requires intention. So here is the economic intensity comparison. Let's be objective, Fire Nation. To reach 40,000 certified units via streaming, you can aggregate listeners across provinces, the cities, the countries. But to sell out two 17,000 seat arenas, you must activate actually roughly 34,000 humans in one location over 48 hours, right? And also streaming is distributed. So arena attendance is concentrated, and concentration does equal to higher loyalty density, right? That is a measure. That is one measurable difference in fan intensity. One between the two. Okay, because the arenas cannot be algorithmically inflated, right? It cannot be completed unless the seats are physically filled. Unless you're like 50 cents and you buy out all of all of Jarul seats, right? And it cannot be certified without real presence. You either fill the seats or you don't. It's simple, right? It's simple. I explained the triangles. Yeah, because each corner stands on it. Oh, remember I was telling you about the three of them, right? So reach, how far your music travels, right? You can have higher reach with low impact. Okay, that structure, which is the big playlist, the viral sounds, the light, but that's light loyalty. That's popularity without devotion in a lot of ways, right? Influence, how many others copy and adapt to you. You can have influence without massive reach, right? Underground artists copying your sound, cadence adopted, style spreading inside the genre. That's stylistic power. That's not necessarily mainstream success, right? So we really have to ask that same question that I asked you before. Who defined success for us, and why do we only see it in that way? A way that doesn't benefit us or our artists, but benefits the system and their system, not even ours. If we care so much about measurement, we need to build our own. We can validate ourselves. Why not? Why not? If the culture is important to us and we actually start to see it with right eyes, then we can get people in Jamaica who are entrepreneurs, who are athletes, who really love dancehall, that have money that can actually go behind building something. If we care about it that much. If not, we'll always get the short end of the stick. These are facts. If other people see what you have and market it so well and make so much off of it, and you still don't see the value in it, it's not the product, it's your eyes. These are facts. I think about these things. Good. So yeah, impact, intensity of reaction. Impact is density, not width, not reach, right? Good. So let me see. See, I told you we're almost finished. Yeah. So an artist can be popular but not deeply felt. Be influential but not commercially massive. Be deeply impactful within a concentrated base without global scale. But the rare artist who masters all three, that's an era defining dominance. And that is why I wanted Cartel to win the Grammy, not because he needs it, but because of the fact that, you know, it does. I'm not going to pretend like the accreditation and the validation wouldn't be nice. You know why? Because we don't have our own. Maybe if we had our own, theirs would be less important. These are facts, but in my mind, I'm thinking, well, at least it's something else other than what he naturally already has. Why not make him get everything? I'm just telling you the truth of my thought process, what I was thinking, right? But him not getting it didn't take anything off of him. His resume now says Grammy nominated. It doesn't say Grammy nominated and lost, right? No, doesn't say that. So being nominated is a thing in itself, which is great. Anyhow, let's continue. Yeah, one is consumption and one is commitment. I couldn't make up my mind between which two slides, so I spread them out. Goal asks how many listened, and arenas asks how many showed up. One is consumption and one is commitment. Did that. So we're almost finished. Almost finished, Fire Nation. Oh, yes, I anticipated you critics. Yes, I did. You know, you must always learn to think from the other side of the chessboard. That's what my brother taught me. God rest his soul. Right? Always think from the other side of the chessboard, Julia. Now, here goes the critic. So, Miss Julia, are you saying that plaques don't matter? No, plaques matter, but they're not the only measure. They measure commercial performance. They are not the sole measure of cultural power. So, Miss Julia, are you saying labels are evil? No, labels are a business. Businesses protect their influence, but metrics are objective. Metrics reflect consumption inside the system. Systems shape exposure, and exposure shapes consumption. That's just simple economics. Take a picture. Don't be mad at me. It's just simple economics. These are facts. Follow the money. Critic says, so are you saying that labels manipulate everything? No, I never said that. Labels invest in exposure. Exposure influences perception. That is structural. It's not sinister. So, Miss Julia, is arena power more legitimate? Not automatically. It measures a different type of loyalty. So, Miss Julia, can an artist have both? Yes. When both align, dominance is undeniable. Okay. So, Miss Julia, and why I say undeniable is because there are some people that would say, oh, this person is not the greatest or not great because of the fact that they don't have this accolade or that accolade. So they find something to deny the person of their dominance. But when both align, the dominance is undeniable. You know, when they say undisputed, in other words, there's nothing that you can say. Well, I believe as time goes on, anyhow, let's continue. I believe as time goes on, Cartel is going to be undisputed. There's going to be nothing that anyone can say. We'll see. So, Miss Julia, so are you saying streaming is easier? Behaviorally, yes, because it requires lower friction. Labels didn't invent music, okay? They shaped metric validation. Plaques measure distribution, arenas measure devotion. Both matter. They measure different powers. Okay? Now, dancehall is not suffering from a lack of global visibility. It's suffering from a lack of internal measurement systems. When you don't measure your fire yourself, you let someone else decide how hot it should burn. I'm not with that. Colonial systems trained us to externalize validation. I'm going to do a live on it. But now we must retrain ourselves to build our own internal metrics because we deserve it. Okay? Yeah, we were trained to respect the numbers, but we weren't trained to question who built the scoreboards. The gold plaques measure how many times something was played. Sold out arena measure how much people change their schedule to stand in one room. Streaming is convenient and commitment is costly. These are facts. One can be boosted by exposure. The other one requires you to show up. So when we argue, my lovely Jamaican people that I love, plaques versus arenas, and we water down arenas, what we're really arguing is, do we value scale more than cultural loyalty? Do we value consumption more than cultural commitment? Or have we just been conditioned to respect centralized metrics because they look official and because they're not ours? Okay? Yes, I told you. Gold plaques show volume-based validation. Okay? Plaques prove popularity. Plaques reflect widespread exposure. It measures how far. The other one measures how deep. Because arenas prove commitment. They reflect concentrated devotion and volume and mobilization based authority. Yeah. Right? In economics, higher friction conversion is considered a stronger signal of loyalty than a lower friction engagement. You can look it up. Because higher friction engagement is statistically harder to produce. That is the structural difference. That's the structural difference. So I'm going to open the floor for devotion. I'll see you next week, Fire Nation. Let me see if anybody wants to come up. Let me read what you guys saying. Sorry, but you guys can call in, whoever want to call in. I'm sorry, teacher, I'm late for class. Please don't point me. Hi, State. Good afternoon. Christopher McConnell, because Onuso Duns, you could never understand a word she's saying. Why are you here? Who is listen, moderators, don't be afraid to block some of them, you know. Hi, Rockstar, blessings, bling us vlogs. And one thing, Miss Julia, I love how you always break down. Of course, we have to fire break it down. That's my nature. Pick things apart till I understand it. Right? What you learn something over here is not true. Big up the real Gaza uncle. Clip Cartel, SYM. Oh no, what is it? Listen, guys, before you start to curse, right? Just delete them. Una have wrench. Delete them. Some won't like this kind of reason. Hi, Mr. Novel. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And Misty, if you're still here, you know you have full authority to even hide people. I trust your judgment, Misty. Yeah, thanks for this. Oh, thank you, Mr. Noble, for the super chat. DJ says it's the same as song make you buy a Clarks. That's true, DJ. That's true. Blessings. I'm sorry I missed all. I was so focused. I need to do it better then. I was so focused on the lesson that I didn't pay attention to the chat. Sorry about that, guys. I'll get better at it. Remember that I'm still pretty much new to doing all of that stuff. V.S Music, blessings. You want to ask a question? Come up. You can come up if you want, or you can type it. Good evening, Orlando. Good afternoon. So nobody not calling in. So let me nobody not calling in. Let me see. Let me see. Yeah. So okay, no problem. Maybe I can catch the pool. What time is it now? 4:15. No, I can't catch the pool right now. It make no sense. And when Gaza capture Miss Julia, I will call in. Okay, call in Mr. Gaza. And when Gaza Cartel capture me and then them capture me second. Where is the link? Hold on. Let me see. Hold on, love. Let me see how I do this. 1 second. You always have okay, here it is. Miss Julia, they're gonna hate you now. I don't know why. I mean, I just give the truth, right? And I don't even do it bias. Like I give the information, I tell you to look it up for yourself. You come to your own conclusions. I'm not telling you what to think. I would never do that. That's free will. That's free will. But I'll tell you something though, it's not the first time in my life that I've got behind people that people didn't approve of. Right?
Something
I
that
had
was
to
not
say
perfect
the hell with them. 1 second. Let me take out, let me remove that. So can you hear me? Is
Yeah, I'm
James
hearing
loud?
you. May I hear you loud and clear, man?
Okay, okay. Blessings and good afternoon.
Yeah, man. Greetings, Blue Fire, A.K.A. Miss Julia,
Yes,
Gaza
greetings.
Queen, Gaza Queen, Gaza Empress. Big up yourself.
Blessings,
Fight for,
blessings.
fight for the right thing. We not fight for what them a fight for. We are fight for the legacy. So big up all the people and we are stand up for the legacy. You know what I mean? Because something is being happening right now, right across the world with
Mm-hmm.
Adisha Palmer.
Mm-hmm.
And we must celebrate it and we must give thanks.
Yeah.
So this is my question I want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes out to everybody. It doesn't matter if you're Gaza Gully, it doesn't matter who you are, Jamaican, because
Mm-hmm.
we are Jamaican in different parts of the world and the diaspora, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it when Robert Nesta Marley, the greatest reggae artist, came and did his work through the fight? Because
Mm-hmm.
Bob Marley went through the fight,
Mm-hmm.
to tear down these barriers across the world, to put reggae music on the level that reggae music respected at all levels, right? Why is it that when we find a dancehall artist from the ghetto, from the struggle, that rise about everything, why is it that we cannot respect it? We can respect Robert Nesta Marley for what he
Mm-hmm.
had done for
Mm-hmm.
reggae. So why is it that not Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, Shaggy, Sean Paul, whoever artist dancehall, not to say reggae, but dancehall, has not brought dancehall music to the level where we are seeing it now? Why is it that they're tearing it down? Why is it these bloggers? Why is it these individuals on the internet find it palatable to tear down some legacy that is being built? This is not Vice Cartel. We won't be on the planet forever, but he's
Mm-hmm.
here doing an international battle now, not Jamaica, not the little ghetto or the parish war. This is an international platform where we see that Vibes Cartel has raised dancehall to the level where he's doing it for craft. He's going to do it for all of these younger generation upcoming to say, look,
Right.
you don't have to change to bet acknowledge. You actually can do hardcore dancehall, clean it up a little bit, put it on an international platform. So why is it these people are doing it? Why are they tearing it down?
Right.
Why the crab in a barrel mentality?
Right. Well, um, hmm, that's something for people to ponder. Um, the thing is though, I'm not talking about anyone per se, but knowing human nature, a lot of times people who are successful are mirrors to people. They show them themselves that they what they're not doing or what they are not able to do. Instead of them focusing on what they can do, that's how hate and jealousy come in, right? So Cartel success show a mirror to all that was not done while he was away. and also show what, with all the odds against him, what you're still able to do. So some people may not take kindly to that. So that's just human nature. I mean, jealousy is a part of success. You have to deal with it. You can't complain about it. It comes with the territory, right? And I think Mr. Palmer has been doing a really good job of ignoring the haters, even sing about it. So it's just something that comes with the territory, and we just have to, we can't spend our energy trying to rationalize it and say that people should be one way or whatever, because the world, that's just the way the world is.
But
But
sorry, that the
mhm,
thing that you said is world, right? When you use the
yeah.
term world,
Mm-hmm.
we as the Caribbean people, Jamaican per se, right? As we can look in this world, use the term world that you use, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not seeing the Canadian band that loves Vibes Cartel doing what the Jamaicans are doing, neither the Americans nor the English or the Germans and the Japanese. We're not seeing them doing it. The only set of people we see doing what is happening now with this crab in a barrel and tear down mentality
Mm-hmm.
is our own Jamaican people. And this is
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying. If we're from the
Yeah.
ghetto and we know what struggle is and you know what it takes to experience struggle and to go up and what it takes, sometimes it's violence, sometimes it's an opportunity to grow and to help. So if we see an individual from Waterford went to Calabar, you know, what I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and went to prison for all of this time, came back
Mm-hmm.
out, took the journal, because cartel. I'm gonna say this, bold, because I mean one of my man
Yeah,
Golos
no,
was talking about it last night,
talk straight here. You can talk
right?
straight.
So watch this. Me and Golos a reason last night on the street, cause we out on the graveyard shift. I'm working on the graveyard shift to take care of my family, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we out there having a conversation, and we're saying that you know, to see that Vibes Cartel clean up, not being the aggressive gangster hardcore dancehall where promotes violent and murder and a boy chat too loud and tap on my clocks instead of, you know, intelligence we box him down and take a ratchet and, you know, analyze people and all kind of different stuff. Not to be aggressive over here. But we're saying we see Vibes Carter changing demeanor, learn from going to prison, teaching the youth them and saying to the youth them out there in the ghettos, and the youth them, and ghettos is all similar all over the world, wherever you are, right? And he's saying to them, listen, ghetto youths, you know what I mean? You don't have to be systematic program
Right. Right.
to stay in that mindset to say that, oh, we have to shoot on each other, we have to murder each other, we have to, you know, that kind of
Yeah.
thing, and giving the youths hope and coming out and changing the tone and the persona
Yeah.
to say that you look at this is a different era where you can get rich, you can have your car, them, you can move your family, you can elevate your mother, elevate your kids, them, do business, do branding, do alcohol. There's a whole genre. Why is it that Alkaline, by Mavado, Bounty Killer, Beanie Man, Sean Paul, Shaggy, all of them is not mirroring what is being shown? Why is it that these guys sit down in the shadows when they have all of these younger youths now? Why is it that Massacre and these guys are not looking at what Vice Cartel is showing you? He's not hiding it. He's showing you to the world. Say, yo, bro, you can go branding, you can go alcohol, you can as a Jamaican artist to go guapi. The first Jamaican artist to get an international close line, bro, on that level to go guapi, to go, bro, like, yo,
Mhm.
sorry
I
about my language.
understand.
Yeah,
I
right now, me I
understand. No,
get
no,
out of
no.
my eyeglass, I sweat,
No,
bro.
man.
Like I'm feeling, I'm
No, I
feeling
understand.
so.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand the frustration and I understand that. But, you know, it's something that can definitely be studied. But as I
Me
said,
tired of them, man. Me tired
yeah,
of
but
them. I'm
no,
me tired of them,
but
bro.
no, no, but don't. But this is what I'm saying though. If you're on the journey to success, you are going to have to deal with it. You don't get to choose. You don't get
True.
to choose. Listen to me. The worst thing is when even it's people who were your friends or people who was your family. These are things that successful people have to deal with. So in order to support people like us, you just have to just stand firm and not complain about it
Thank
because
you.
the person, because we can't complain about it. We have to continue. So we want the people around us to continue with us, not to complain. You understand what I'm saying? These are facts. And every person on the road to success or on success or climbing that ladder, right?
Yeah,
Feel like
the higher
right.
the eagle climbs, the crows will fall off. I
Exactly,
get
exactly. And I'm not
it.
saying, listen, I'm not saying that you're complaining at all. Don't get me wrong.
No,
But
my
because I
blood boil,
understand
man.
what,
Me I tell you,
right.
my blood boil, man. Cause
I
when I hear these
understand.
guys sit down up there and
Yeah.
knowing that, to
Yeah.
know that the life doesn't stop with us. We're just mere travelers journeying through the earth. And now, if you have an opportunity to
Yeah.
change, to do something to change, to make it a better future for the youths that reflecting
Right.
off of what is done. Because Vibes Cartel them and Mavado them and Bounty Killer and Beanie Man them all revolve off of something. So now they got the opportunity to
Yeah.
to evolve. And when you get there, you never took the book to create a blueprint and show it publicly to the rest of the youths.
But
This is
but
what
but
this is
Benja,
what
I know,
burned me.
but Benja, you have to understand this too, you know. If it was easy, anybody could do it. And I'm not saying that but it takes you, as I said, not everybody can do what Vibes Cartel is doing. And even if they can do it, a lot of people don't believe in themselves that they could, or they don't have the vision. So
Sealer.
his path is a different and a very special path. Their path is important in the grand scheme of things. If you look at the whole fabric of life, their path is also important,
It's
right?
a part of it.
Everybody have a different path, but it's just that his own is super special, and if everybody could do it, it wouldn't be so super special. So, but I do understand what you're saying. You wish that people could get more behind him, but maybe them fighting him is a part of his path as well. We can't get to decide people's road to success for them. Because God knows I have my own fight. God knows you will have your own fight. God knows everybody else in Fire Nation will have their own specific fight, whatever that is. So maybe those people, the less support, and even from the Bible, it always say a prophet in his own house is never ever rewarded.
A
These
king.
are facts. So maybe that hardship there is a part of him struggle preparing him for something along the way. So we don't curse the way, we just support them while they're on the way.
I know.
I just want you
But
to understand what I'm
yeah,
saying.
man. Thank you very much, and I truly appreciate your knowledge over here. Big up Uncle Gaza for recommend us to start
Oh, okay,
listening to you.
blessings,
I do
blessings to
follow
you.
you. I do follow your platforms, and I do
Okay,
sit in the
blessings.
bushes and listen to you. And I'm learning. I'm a business
Well,
owner too, so
don't stay in the bushes.
no, so
Come out to
yeah,
play.
yeah. Sometimes we gotta stay in the bushes to see what's going on in the world, you
Okay, I
know. So,
understand. Yes,
so
yes.
before I leave, let me say to you: never
Blessings.
be ungrateful.
Nice.
Never by the hands that feed you. Always be grateful. Remember, it's Jaja who loves you. Never be ungrateful. Big up Auntie
Wow,
Julia.
that
Yeah.
was beautiful. Hey, you're going to have to you have to give me an intro. That was beautiful. Thank you for that.
Love and honors, man. Just keep teaching
Blessings.
and knowledge, facts over fiction, right,
Yes,
at all
ma'am.
times. And I
And
truly
bless, and you're
appreciate what you're
always
doing.
welcome over here to express yourself. You hear?
Yeah, man. Love and
Yeah.
honors all the time. Big up
Blessings.
yourself.
Bless up. Hi, Mr. Gaza. Sorry for having you in the background for so long. I didn't realize I didn't add you to the stage.
No,
What
man, it's all right.
and
Blessings,
blessings, Miss T,
blessings.
for dropping the link. Hey, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
The floor is yours, Mr. Gaza.
yeah. No, I just want to say, bless up yourself. This was outstanding. So thank you very much. You see
Oh,
me?
okay, blessings.
We
Thank
don't, we don't, we don't, we don't get this very often on the YouTube streets, you know. So
blessings.
this
Thank
was
you.
refreshing and different. Um, my biggest takeaway from what you said, um, selling goal means that people see you or heard you.
Mm-hmm.
But selling arena means people believe in you or they
Mm-hmm.
chose you.
Mm-hmm. It's
And I
more
think,
friction. More
yeah.
friction. Yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think like I agree with that 1000%. It
Mm-hmm.
just makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. And
And
Mr. Gaza, I
yeah,
also have the studies I can share with you guys. It's not out of my head, and it's also
mhm.
stuff that I learned too. So it's not just not fantasy. You understand? It's facts. That's why it
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense. Sorry, but
I
go ahead.
know it.
I'm
I
listening.
know it's facts. I just
Mm-hmm.
love how you use that analogy to get the point across to
Mm-hmm.
make it easier digestible for a lot of people who might not understand it in that way.
Blessings,
You see
blessings.
what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
So yeah, that was great. But I also love the fact that you establish that labels are not sinisters as well too. They
Right,
have their role in the music industry as well. And
right.
they have to establish their importance because if they don't, then what value would they be to an artist?
Exactly.
So
Perfectly
they
right.
yeah. So they have to do what they have to do.
perfect. Right. It is a business.
Right. It's a business. So, like what you said, they have to, I guess, validate, or I don't know. Well, yeah,
Yeah.
validate
Mm-hmm.
the streams, the sales, the
Mm-hmm.
certification, and those things, because that's the value that they bring to artists.
Exactly.
So
And
if
it's
they
just
don't validate it, then they wouldn't. They you wouldn't need them, and
exactly
they're
right.
out of business.
Exactly right.
So they
Exactly
prop
right.
these things up to make, right, to, I guess, I don't
It's
want
a
to use
business.
that
It's a
word.
business model, and it's a
Yeah,
very
yeah, I don't
smart
want to
one.
use it, but yeah,
Yeah.
like somewhat manipulative, but not
Yeah.
exactly, but
N-
kinda.
They have made themselves needed and the benchmark,
Right, right.
and we have helped them. So
Mm-hmm.
with everything, Mr. Gaza, and that's why I'm gonna have another live about cultural self-esteem, because we, without us, without us and the people validating, they have no validation.
Right,
We are the ones that
right,
help. So with everything bad that happened to us, believe me, we had a hand in it in some way. Even if we don't know what we're doing, right? We have a
yeah,
hand in our own downfall in some way. And I don't want dancehall to end up like Air Jamaica. I want us to have more cultural pride when it comes to it. But I'm going to talk about it on the next live, because it goes back to colonialism, it goes back to classism, it goes back to people seeing dancehall as raga raga music, so they don't see it as an actual cultural export, which it is, which everybody else is taking advantage of, and fusion this and all type of things, right? And we are not seeing the gold that is beneath our feet.
right, right, right.
So
So
we're
let
going
me
to have
ask you
to
this
talk
now.
about that. Sorry, go ahead, love.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
would you say that
Uh-huh.
someone like Vibes Cartel
Mm-hmm.
would be deemed a threat to this system?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
He
agree.
is. He is at the, but he's very diplomatic and very kingly in his ways.
Uh-huh.
And so, he understands that he has to operate within the system.
Uh-huh.
He's not somebody who would think of cutting off them nose to spite them face and close doors for him or the future or him sons or etc. He's very smart.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, even him applying for the Grammy itself gives them validation too, because I mean, not saying that they need it, but it does show that we still think it's important.
Yes,
These
he
are
understand.
facts.
Yes, he
You understand what I
understands.
mean? Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. He
so he plays
understands that
nice in
he's
that way. He's very diplomatic, very smart. I tell you, he is a very smart businessman. I don't think people are looking at him with the microscope that he deserves. And
uh-huh.
sometimes, enough, that happens after an artist passes. That's when they
Right.
give the artist that reverence. But
Uh-huh.
I study greatness, and I study, you know what I mean? I study what I want to emulate. I study greatness.
True, true.
That's why I read so much, right?
Yeah.
And he does if you he is very he's very savvy businessman, very savvy in a lot of ways,
Yeah, I agree.
very
And I
savvy.
like I like what you said, because I know for sure
Hmm.
that he knows that he's a threat, right? And
Yeah,
like you said, he's not gonna cut off his nose to spite his face. So he knows that he's a threat, but he don't want to step on any toes or anything like that. So he's gonna still try to operate within certain lines, because
exactly.
he don't want them to perceive him as the threat that he is, even though he is.
And not only
I'm not
that,
a, I'm
yeah,
even though I'm not working with your system, I'm
yeah,
not against your system.
exactly. And not only that, maybe he's positioning himself to be the system in the future. I would love to see
True.
him get behind something. Right, just like how Jay-Z right now have a seat at the table at the NFL, right?
True.
I would
Exactly.
love to see him be behind, what is, or and other artists too that are very entrepreneurial, like Shaggy is one that comes to my mind, right?
Uh-huh.
That can actually create something for us, by us, and really, really for the benefit of us and to teach us, right? But what? Oh, jeez, I was going to say something a while ago. What did you just say? You said something and then I lost it. You said something and I was going to piggyback off of what you said.
I think the last thing I said was even though he's not working with their system, he's also not against
Yes.
their
Yeah.
system.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I would, yeah. So I lost it, but that's okay. We'll come back eventually. But
Okay.
yeah, no, you're 100%, you're 100%, you're 100% right. Right. Like Yeah. Go ahead. Say something. Talk. Say something else. I just lost my thought completely. Sometimes things, my thoughts go like really fast. So I try to keep up. Go ahead, love. What else you wanted to say to me?
Um, I'm trying to remember what else you mentioned. But yeah, I just think this was really really good. Um, Great packaging as well too. Easy to
Thank you.
follow, easy to digest, easy to understand. So I just feel like, yeah, you just did a great job just
Thank you.
putting
I
everything
appreciate
together.
that. I
Um,
appreciate that.
how do you feel about like well, you're planning to do more of these type of dancehall
Yeah,
classes,
the
right?
business of dancehall. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
right. So how do
yeah.
you feel about separating your original channel from this?
No, because it's still business, which is business of dancehall, and a lot of my
Okay,
non-Jamaicans that tune in, they're learning more about dancehall. You see what I'm
okay,
saying?
okay.
And
So we
Makes
turn on
sense.
that, please.
True, makes sense.
right, right. So I mean, it's still business, and why should I separate it from business? It's still a serious topic.
So
You see what I'm
here's
saying?
why I mention it,
Yeah, go ahead.
because I know a little bit about like YouTube, well, just algorithms in general,
Hmm.
digital algorithms and stuff, and it's very tricky. So in certain cases, you can confuse the algorithm.
Oh, I
If
see.
you're right, but I think you mentioned a good point that it still kind of falls within the same guidelines as it's still business.
Business, yeah, yeah. And I
Because
always put the hashtag business of dancehall and business matters because it still
right,
is. It's just
because I look
music.
at some of your other
Hmm.
videos, and yes, it's like just overall entrepreneurship and
Yeah,
business.
yeah, yeah.
So
And I don't, and
okay,
to Mr. Gaza,
hmm,
intentionally, I don't want them to be thought of separately because we
okay,
need to start to think of dancehall as a business more.
right, right, right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, you
So
mentioned a great point. Yeah, yeah, I
yeah,
think
so
it would
I
be good
don't.
to keep it.
Yeah, so once I fix the hashtags to continue, with include business, I hope it don't cause too much confusion. And not only that, but the dancehall people can be exposed more to a lot of the business stuff too, because a lot of you want to do more in your businesses. So why not? We can love both,
Uh-huh.
I think. But I see what you're saying, and I appreciate that
Yeah, yeah,
advice.
yeah.
Wait,
Because
try to
yeah,
call back again because it keep locking you out. I don't know why. But
because
yeah, so
the titling, like the way how you title the videos and the thumbnails and those
oh
things,
yes, you're right.
yes, it can confuse the algorithm. So it's like YouTube,
Okay.
yeah, YouTube wouldn't know like, okay, who should I push this video to? Because sometimes I see you do videos about, I don't know, running a coffee shop or something like that, or being a
I wasn't
traditional
running it.
entrepreneur. You see what I'm saying? But then
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
other
yeah.
hand, you're talking about dancehall music, so it's kind of like
Yeah,
they,
you're
yeah,
right.
the
You're
algorithm
right.
can be confused very easily. As
You're
much
right.
as technology is deemed as smart,
Yeah.
smartphone, smart, this is not very smart at all, to be honest. See what I'm saying? It's just
Uh,
trained very
it's
well.
just trained.
Right.
Well,
So if
that
you're
might be a good
confusing
thing,
it with different
actually.
information,
Yeah.
it gets lost. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You're right. No, you're right. And thank you for that because you know what? That was an oversight. That was a
yeah.
definite oversight, the title, because I was just thinking about the title of the live. But you're
Uh-huh.
100% right. 100% right. And that was a terrible oversight. So thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
But you
appreciate
you
that a lot, man.
yeah, you
Yeah.
might be able to get away with it, but yeah, probably just look into it some more
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
see for yourself.
I
So
look
yeah,
for
it
the
was
yeah, the best practices for that.
uh
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I would love to see, like us start to take the business and the dancehall more seriously. So yeah, a lot of things with the classism, a lot of things with like external validation from colonial times, right? Make people still don't give dancehall the weight that other
sorry,
cultures
1 second.
give it.
State is says he's
Yeah,
back,
I'm
state.
trying to let me add him again.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, State, are you there?
I'm here. Good
Yeah, go
evening. Good
ahead. Go ahead.
evening.
Blessings and good evening.
Bless up everybody in our chat.
Blessings and thanks for coming.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
but that's a call for say. I reach a little bit late for class still, but I enjoy your life. Keep up the good work.
Thank you
Enjoy
very much, State. I
everything.
appreciate that.
Man, once everybody in our chat will learn a lot over here today last week and we're gonna keep forwarding back. Well, in your case, we'll keep coming back to learn a lot more, yes, man.
Blessings. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
big up
State.
yourself. But
Bless up.
also, Miss Julia,
Yeah.
I don't know if you could get a second device where you have it on YouTube and you pay attention to the chat. Like when
Oh,
you're, yeah, just use
yeah.
that device so you could pay attention to the chat, so you could see like when somebody's asking a question when you're doing
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You're
So
right.
you
I should do
don't,
that.
yeah, so
Yeah.
you could communicate sometime during your lessons.
Yeah, yeah, I'm going to do that. You're right. Because I have other devices, but it's true. I should do that. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. You're right. And I'm
Okay.
trying to get the hang of it too, right? With
Yeah, I know.
because especially when I get into the lesson, it's like I'm so super focused because I'm
Yeah,
reading. So it's a bad habit of me getting super focused like that when I'm reading that I don't look at anything else. So
yeah.
I'm going to be conscious of that for the live. Thanks for that. I appreciate that.
Okay, big up yourself. We
Big up yourself.
appreciate
You have
it.
any notes from anything that we were talking about?
I
Anything? Yeah.
forward, honestly, my mother did call me, so I'm forward later. I forward
Okay,
like in the
blessings.
last
No
20
worries, no
minutes. So
worries,
now I
no
go watch
worries.
it back.
All right, blessings, and thanks so much for everything. Thanks for coming.
Okay. All
All
right.
right, bye.
Yeah.
So, Miss Julia,
Yes, God,
um,
Mr. Gaza.
Rated Gaza said something. He said, "Goal versus arena? Question mark. The business of dancehall, is that a better title?" Um, I would modify it a little bit and say selling, because remember, if she has a business channel, so you
Mm-hmm,
need to use certain buzzword that surrounds business. So I would say selling goal versus selling arena,
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
business of dancehall music, not just dancehall.
Yeah,
You see
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Because we're
yeah. That makes
talking
sense.
about the music industry overall too, even though it's niche down to dancehall, but you still want to put certain buzzwords out there so the algorithm can pick it up. So I would say selling goal versus selling arena,
Mm-hmm,
question mark, the business of dance, the business of dancehall music. That
mm-hmm,
would be a
mm-hmm.
suggestion to me for
That makes
from me.
sense. That
Yes.
makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But that was very good though.
Thank you. Blessings
Rated
and
Gaza.
let me read. Black Jacobin said, if dancehall watch cartel with an eye for learning, there would be a more serious force. That's true. That's true. That's true. Sorry, guys. I'm just seeing all of your comments. I'll get better at it as I go along. Dancehall need Cartel to lead the genre. The players in the industry might not want him in the lead, but the genre needs him in the lead. I mean, it's a plate that people need to step up to. But the plate is there. That's the point. He stepped up to the plate, so you can't really be mad at him. Other people are free to step up to the plate as well. But don't try to pull him away from the plate. That's where I'm at, right? Like, don't try. He stepped up to the plate. He's doing a lot of things for dancehall, and I think soon more culturally, right? He stepped up to the plate.
Yeah.
So you can also step up to the plate in your own way. But don't try to pull a man from the plate if he's doing stuff for dancehall and the culture. That's what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
Um Jadvice. Hi, Jadvice. Jerome, Mr. Gaza, you're twanging and I can't understand what you're saying. Can you speak in Patwa? Patwa, I never learned speaky spoken language. Jerome is always trolling, Hi, Jerome. Big up yourself. And
Jerome,
good
why you
to see
don't go
you.
home, bro?
Tyrone Clark, facts. Yes, Portmore Grabber. Go ahead and let me hear what you have to say.
Well,
Blessings.
first of all, pleasant good evening to you.
Pleasant good
Um,
evening.
yeah, me like how when I extend the platform them and things to you, me want to say this. We have a serious problem in our culture. We have a serious problem in our music. You see me? A time for the man them now start to realize where this brother yeah, 13 years come up in a prison. You see me? The man still doing thing in a prison. Like respected, commendable work. You see me? The man
Mm-hmm.
come around now and I do the right thing, set the right thing the right way. I bring back a whole heap of international eyes to the genre and even to the culture. You see me? Because cartel is the culture. I just feel like we need, we not say we need the support, bro, but I just feel like all that song, that song I went drop with Shensi and everything there. We can see dance up on a global level if everybody really start to put on the bad mind thing and start to give credit where credit is due. You see me? The man they out there do it, bro. I know me sit down and me and meds and me I look for some of my friends them will have them support some of that side and thing and It's like no matter what the man do, them nah give him no credit. And this a brother are the reason why them feed them artists can charge more on a stage show. Like it's a
Yeah.
time go on, go to.
No. I hear what you're saying, but I mean, my thing is, we're very careful about how we expend our energy, right? And I
Right.
mean, people are going to be who they are going to be. People are going to be who they are, and they're going to make them choices. As I said before, like that's just a part. The hardships and the hardship from other people is just a part of his journey on his own personal journey to success. So as the fan base, it don't make any sense. You fight those people because the more you resist them is the more you give them strength. Right? Focus on just but I understand the feeling, and you're valid. You're totally valid. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, feel the way you feel, but I'm just saying we shouldn't stay there. It's okay to feel upset. It's okay to say, that's bad mind, blah blah blah, but don't stay there, because when you stay there, they're basically using all your energy, what you could be using to basically amplify and be happy for the artist, for where he is and for where he's going to be. That's how I see it still. And I'm not saying that you are wrong. You're not wrong at all. But I'm just saying that we have to be conscious when we're supporting people, because it's hard when you're on a journey of success. I'm telling you from experience, and the people around you, closest to you, is complaining or feeling bad for you when you're really taking everything inside of you to stay strong and to continue on your journey. These are facts, and I'm telling you from experience as somebody who, you understand, go on that success journey all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 second, Portmore Gaba. Big up Miss Jacobs. I didn't see you. Big up sister. Big up Queen. I don't know if you're still there. I'm just scrolling through the chat, and I'm just seeing people. Sorry, but go ahead, Portmore Gaba. What else were you saying?
So well, let's actually the
Yeah.
thing just look good, brother. The money me follow the bag of feelings, but everything I say right still. You know what I mean? It's still
Yeah.
within my control to say no, we not mix them. Is me who not support you in the business I just say go. Is
Right.
me? But
Right.
but now the DJ definitely influence in a lot of ways, bro. Because even in a situation like this, I respect the DJ's resilience. The man
Yeah.
not make nothing get through, none at all. You see
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
And the
And
man,
and
the
that
man,
that shows him doing him work. You understand? And that is what we have to
yeah,
protect.
yeah,
That's what
yeah,
we have to protect, the light and the good in people. But it's hard for you. You ever try open a door with your hand full of groceries? I
yeah.
don't know why
Now,
I'm trying that.
it
And
happen.
every time I drop something, some
Yeah,
things you have to let go of certain things to open a door to actually be able to go through it. So right now I'm going through these doors. We just have to focus on supporting him, amplifying the good, so people can see the good. And when people see you're happy, they're like, "Why? When is so happy? Wait, what she have over?" In much people say, "What do you do to me?" They're like, "What do you do?" I said, Meditate, yoga, exercise, eat, drink
Even
water." Good evening. Oh, sorry. Good
mm,
evening. 357. 1 second. Right. So when people see that you're genuinely happy, and you're doing what you want to do, they get curious and they want to come over. Sometimes they want to pull you down, but don't make them drag you down, because they will drag you down. That is their intention. You understand? That is their intention to make you, because they probably don't feel good about their artist, or they don't probably feel good about your artist because he's doing so well. So guess what they
right.
want? They want you to feel as bad as them. So they will troll you
Mm.
and try to trigger you,
So
right?
misery
But
love company for sure.
you're
yeah,
valid
yeah,
though. But you're valid. Yeah, I carry on you, but give me a second, 1 second. But yeah, no, but I don't want you to feel like I'm telling you what you're saying is wrong, Portmore Grabber. It's not. But I'm just saying we have to, as leaders too, we have to be able to see what people see, the energy, and either dodge it or turn it into something better. You understand?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. What you're saying, 357, bless up.
well, me this even me just see that list life and me have one thought. Me
Yeah.
feel like so me, just listen me. Me glad
I'm
said
listening.
Carter me glad said Carter never win a Grammy. Cause watch out. You see if me win a Grammy, they would have say they not know a album. So like this year when you start out, you have a lead single, everybody know a album a come. So if you go and good and you win, we can't have no complaint. So they don't know no song or nothing.
I don't think that makes sense, to be
No,
honest.
bro, that's madness, bro.
I don't think that makes sense there.
No, the
Because,
reason why I say that
mm-hmm.
because remember when the Grammy nomination and everything, they made a complaint so they don't know a song off an album, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I make a point there.
Oh, so you're saying that because okay, so you're saying that because he didn't win, they went and listened to the album. That's what you're saying?
No, not necessarily. Me say, like me I say, me glad he never win. Me know enough Gaza fan did want him win, but the reason why I make a point there,
You're right.
remember they would have complained so they not know a song off an album and no hit song no depend on. So
Mhm.
like when we start out here with one lead singer of a new album, yeah, everybody know a album a come. So they know about the album.
Yeah, but look, we're not as Gaza fans and as Vibes Cartel. We're not doing anything for outside validation. So you're saying that, oh, you're glad he didn't win the Grammy because some people on the internet saying they don't know not one song of Cartel album. That same argument can be made for every single artist that was nominated. I
No,
didn't
you
know
know
that.
them
I
are
didn't know a single song. I never heard of Kesnambi a day in my life. I'm not gonna sit here and say he don't deserve to win, but I've never heard of him, much less him sang them. I didn't even know him and Cartel have a song together. I'm a Gaza fan. Because I've
But
never heard of him a day in my life. That
Mr.
same
Manager,
argument can make for Jesse Royal,
when
who
I
know
play
one
devil,
song off him album.
when I play
no,
devil's
but
Nobody
you
can say the
advocate,
know,
same.
when I
they
play
not
devil's
go keep.
advocate for 1 second there. When I play devil's advocate for 1 second there. Cause that you there, me not gonna lie, when I discover Kesnam there, I think last year, bro. Me say, dog, that you have some tune, bro. I got a tune with Chronics, the Victory and everything there. So my thing is though, yeah, me not say I say not deserve it, but me no know. I mean, I not really theme for say we not really know the truth. But he had quality work though.
I can see what you're saying, 357. I can see what you're saying. I can see why you would think that. I can see it. I can see why.
Cause,
I'm not
cause
I'm not
listen,
going to necessarily say that that would happen. I'm not going to say that, but I can see where the thought comes from. I can give you that. Hmm.
if me win, then would I complain and try downgrade it.
So 357 with this new album, right? Him win the
Yeah,
Grammy
yeah.
next year. You don't think people are gonna find some way to complain same way? Once they don't like you, they will always find something to complain about.
No, but
This
them
a
are
man, the album
complaining.
was better.
Them are complain, but on some different level, they not gonna say they don't know a album now. Them are find different fault.
But it's still a complaint. It don't matter.
Miss Julia,
It's
Hi,
just a
good
different. It's
afternoon.
just one.
Afternoon.
Just one
a
complaint
Gaza
move to
uncle,
a next.
Yeah, go
Mr.
ahead,
Gaza,
Gaza
big
uncle.
up.
Big up, big up.
357, big up. Here where I understand exactly what Ima say.
Mm-hmm.
Because basically, if him they win, them would have said, but me don't know the album. And
Mm-hmm.
like people that make more complaints. So we must say now, if songs that for the album are dropped now and it a promote and everything, nobody can find the excuse now. Cause
Mm-hmm.
the excuse was, me don't know the song them off for the album.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Okay,
the
yeah, yeah.
excuse. Remember, he never winning, but people still find something to say.
Mm-hmm.
So me don't know the song them. That's basically what them just say. So now them can't say them don't know the song. Cause as you know, the song is number one in England. Song is number one in UK, song is number one in Canada, song is number
Mm-hmm.
one in the US. So them can't say like me don't know the song and many
But
Caribbean
but
country.
Gaza uncle and Mr. and sorry, 357. I said I understand where I'm coming from in a Gaza uncle, but this is the thing. I'd rather him win the goal and them chat. They're going to chat anyway.
No,
Why
no,
are
no,
we
no,
Exactly.
no.
so afraid of
What I
people
miss Julia?
talking? Yeah.
No. Me not care about the talking neither. You know, me just tell them I
Okay, good.
understand where Ima come from.
Okay, okay,
as as
okay.
as,
No,
as a fan, me understand what Ima say. But me
me
no
Right,
care.
right.
understand. Me
Them could talk
understand
till them
everything when him
blue.
say,
Me no
but me just
responsible with
not
that.
agree with it.
Yeah, I
Me
understand where
understand
I'm
where
coming from. I
I understand
understand.
where it's coming from. But
Yeah, me
three five
understand
seven,
every word him say.
them are gonna talk regardless, you know. All of them know the song. Cause even if
Exactly.
them know that album, yeah, and them know it, them might say something different. Them gonna say I buy it out. Them might find something to
It's
say.
never
So it
gonna
don't matter
end,
what
bro.
him do, them are gonna find something to say.
It's
So
never gonna
that are
end.
the least of our problem right now. We need to
Exactly.
focus on no Grammy nothing. What we
Yeah.
want is this album Fido. Great body of work. And that we they are worried about. Me not pay that no mind. You see me? So I understand your concern, but yeah. And Mr. Julia, thanks for that reason that I tell you say, boy, I tell you.
Blessings.
One different level of reason. I love it.
Thank you, thank you. I'm going to cut it up too. I know I'm supposed to cut up the other ones,
Yes,
but it's
yeah, that
just
will be some
work
three,
and
three, 5 5 minutes. Yeah,
yeah. But I need to do one though, like I was telling them on cultural self-esteem, because I
Because
think that is the root of the problem in a lot of ways, and why it is that we're not measuring ourselves. We have to depend on other people's measurements and giving so much importance to external validation. So I'm going to talk about that because I mean it is doable, but it's the mindset that needs to change. They need to stop. The people with money need to stop demonizing dancehall and seeing it as baga baga or seeing it as them people type of music. It is our culture and our cultural export. So we
all right,
need to
so
actually start to protect it, or we are basically proving to the Almighty that we haven't learned our lesson because
Miss
we have gone
Julia,
through this. One second, we have gone through
sorry.
this with Air Jamaica. We've gone through this with coffee too, and aluminum in a lot of ways with our beaches, right? We keep going through this. So when is enough enough, right? And this, I believe, is another test. And this is
but
something that other people value, right? And we ought to value it, and it comes from us. Sorry, dear. Go ahead, Mr. Gaza. Go ahead.
no, no. So what I was saying is the
Yeah.
fact our way they say is 100% correct because there's a lot of artists where me rate, especially like hip hop artists too. Me not just
Mm-hmm.
take up my money and got them show. Me not just got this show for God this show. But as when me stream them song, of course,
Mm-hmm.
me we
Yeah.
stream them song and listen to the song. That's a vibe. But remember, say a dedication for go buy clothes. First of
Ex-
all, a
exactly.
dedication that is called. Make Mr.
Right.
God tell her, for fly, for jump on a plane from a different state
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and buy clothes and
Right.
Airbnb, rent a
Book
car,
And
hotel.
buy
buy tickets
food,
and gas
yes, and all the above,
and
and then
traffic.
still go pay
Mm-hmm.
one $500-600 per ticket and everything just
Exactly.
to go hear your artist perform. No, a dedication that a
Right.
power.
Right.
Those are power that, but if you put something upon one DSB and people click on it and stream, that not look
It's
at
different.
right now. Me I
Exactly.
drive right now and me I listen some. All right, so me I listen one cartel, fully
Right.
cartel, a different song change. Sometimes when you listen to Spotify,
Right.
one song jump up where you not even know. You say, "Oh, tell me to play Ed Sheeran." I don't know you are
Exactly.
play,
Right.
just jump up and it add to
Mm-hmm.
a stream. But for
Exactly
me to
right.
take up my hard-earned money and go one show or something, a dedication that call.
But Mr. Gaza uncle, I want you to remember that is them actually have a term for that. We were teaching about. I don't know if you were here at that time, but we were teaching about it before. Is a high friction activity. When it comes on to marketing, that actually it worth more. 'Cause it takes more. It takes more human effort to actually get it achieved. Just like filling bodies in the stadium is different than getting the clicks. One second, everybody. Big up TG Media. Big up my brother. Big up Mark Brown. Big up Ganja Aladdin. I said it already. Big up Miss T. I said it already. Orlando, Florida. Big up Fair Weather. Sorry. Big up yourself. Yeah. So go ahead. Go ahead. Gaza Uncle. Well, let me finish what you're
No,
saying,
no,
and then after
no,
Frankie.
Mm.
no.
Hmm.
I was just saying, there I learn a lot and I appreciate me in the bush. See, me I comment section from it start, man.
Okay. Bless.
Me
Oh, you
there.
already. Okay. Cool.
All right,
Cool.
but
Yeah,
watch
man,
out.
me there comment long time. I just show your focus. Me there
Yeah.
But
comment long
Yeah.
time, man.
hold
But
on,
Blessings.
but big up everybody where there and Saturday evening over there. I learned something. You see me, just everybody just focus and
Blessings.
listen. All
Thank
right, me
you.
there. Yeah.
so Miss
Blessings.
Julia,
Blessings, Gaza Uncle.
you
Yes,
men
Mr. Gaza. Sorry.
you mentioned a word earlier,
Uh.
validation. And
Yeah.
I heard the CM Gaza uncle say it yesterday. And me never really a think about it at the time. But
Yeah.
when me hear him say it and me start meds it, it make whole heap of sense. I
Yeah.
feel like every other fan base out there
Hmm.
is secretly waiting or depending on Gaza validation
I wouldn't go
to
so far,
feel
Mr.
approved.
Gaza. I wouldn't go so far.
No, but listen,
I wouldn't go. But
I'm
tell me
t-
your reasoning. Tell me your reasoning. Tell
yeah.
me your reason.
Him said yesterday, I'm a think about it, and it makes so much sense. But
What?
now, when 357 is saying, "Oh, them would have find fault and them would have complain," it look like now we're starting to do the reverse.
Wait,
It's
wait,
like
one
now
second,
we're
one
trying to.
second. Cranky, it says that your devices are not connected. It says that it kicked you off because it says device is not connected. So you have to give permission to your mic and your camera, and then I can add you. Sorry, Mr. Gaza. Go ahead there.
Yeah, so I'm saying if we're gonna sit here now and worry about people are gonna find fault in cartel music and album and this and that, then it seems now like we're giving them the power that we have. They need our validation, and it's like now we're turning around and waiting on feed them validation. So me not believe in this, or if card now him should have never win the Grammy because people have said them to know him song them and them to know the album, and that's madness. Them always are gonna find something to talk. Cause in my opinion, I wanted Cartel to win the Grammy. I
Of
mean I stop
course.
say that.
Of
I
course.
mean
Of
care and
course.
nobody wants to say.
Of
Next year him
course.
nominated, them all find something else to talk about. No matter how great the album is, them all still find something to talk
There
about.
will always
So
be
we
critics.
can't stop
Yeah,
and
exactly.
look for outside validation from these people. It's like we're giving our power away. A Gaza, we say we are
Exactly.
the biggest thing in a dance hall. We have the
Exactly.
power. If we sit down
Exactly.
and wait and feed them validation for approve if something is trash or not, then we're giving that power away. And
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm definitely a Gaza fan when I do that. So Cartel
Exactly.
should have win
And
me
not
care
only
and
that,
nobody wants it.
a lover of our Jamaican culture. You understand? You see what I'm saying? Love of dancehall as well. You see what I'm saying? These are the things that
Yeah.
I think about, Mr. Gaz. I think about it, think about it, think about it. Because I think about how much people profit off of it, how much people make new forms of music by being inspired by it. That is influence and impact. How, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many imitations from different cultures, right? Trying to recreate the sound, how
Mhm.
we almost on every stage show, but yet still it's so much that we're not seeing. So
And
I
we have
want
to,
us to start to
yeah,
see,
and
yeah,
we have to stop act like as Gaza nation to like we're afraid of negativity and a little fight and we are the strongest thing out there, bro. We embrace them thing there, make them talk, make them fight. Cartel have a song. The more them fight, the stronger me get. You can't stop me. You want to stick a bet? Those are not
right,
just
yeah,
lyrics. If you're a true Gaza fan, pay attention to the things where Cartel say. And not just rhyming, the man not just set things to rhyme. If you understand psychology and the mentality of human beings, you understand them things that what the man a talk about.
yeah. But Mr. Gaza, this
The
is the
power
problem.
of
This is the
negative
Yeah,
forces.
but this is the problem though. And I always tie spirituality into everything that I do. So if there are Gaza fans that are not spiritual, then maybe here we won't see eye to eye. To me, the best form of revenge is success.
Hmm.
And I've done that a lot. I have smiled, and I have smiled in people's faces that I knew hated me, wanted to tear me down while I collect what I needed to collect. You understand what I'm saying to you? That is why, even in the Bible, and I'm not a super Christian, don't think that, but I know my Bible because I grew up in church and because there's a lot of wisdom in it, and I don't make it good. Don't worry. But when him say, they want me go down in the cemetery, but them don't know say everywhere I go, I have my Bible with me or something like that. It's a
Hmm.
old,
Hmm.
it's a old cattle song.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. I know that song. Yeah.
but that is why the scripture says, He prepareth a table before me in the face of my enemies. That means your enemy is supposed to see you eat.
Yeah,
That is what it means. Your enemies will see you eat. That's why he prepared a table before me in the presence of mine enemies.
yeah. And
You
look at the
understand? So
mo.
so
Yeah,
that is why success is the greatest revenge. So you need to spend your energy on developing yourself and developing your own success so that what them say don't even matter anymore. That
yeah.
is
And
why,
look,
that's why, and that is why I don't get pulled into negativity. And that is why
right.
when I hear all those things, like, because I'm like, I value my energy too much. It's not going there to argue with you
Exactly.
about
Exactly.
something that you want. You understand? No, I'm not. I'm not being that.
And look at one of the most recent lyrics that he said in a song. Them
Mhm.
I pray for me fall, me I pray for me rise. That means that the whole of we I pray for me life.
Exactly. Exactly right.
You're bringing more. So instead of we like yo wanna stop fight the man and give the man a chance and now
Right.
the man him just come out of prison and him not trouble nobody. Make
Yeah.
them go and hate, bro. A guys that we say we're not afraid of like a fight, bro.
Yeah. But
Embrace it.
but remember, said.
Embrace it.
But Mr. Gaza, this is what
Because
I
it's
want
only
to
gonna
say.
make him better and stronger. So we need to
That's
stop.
true.
Like, bro, me not understand. Like, don't this sound like a crying out, bro. Me not dep on that.
That's true. That's true. But
Me
Mr.
not dep
Gaza, this
on
is the
that,
thing
bro.
though. This is the thing though, right? I agree with what you're saying, and I appreciate what you're saying. But here's the thing: we have to respect the fact that everybody is at a different level. Not everybody is at the same level as you for certain things.
Spiritually, true, true. Yes,
Exactly. Not everybody
yes.
is at the same level.
You're
For
right.
me,
You're right.
a lot of people, though they may be cartel fans, they probably don't know how to deal with success. They probably
True,
don't
true.
know that there are certain things that come with the success. So that's why our platforms are important, where we can teach people and show people, just show them what they may consider as more important. So we teach them. So it's each one teach one, right? But then we can't demand everybody act the same, because everybody have a right to feel what they want to feel, and everybody have a right on their own journey. All we can do is teach now. We can't force feed, and we can't force feed. So if somebody feels so much love in that way for the artist that them feel offended and they complain about it, we understand where it's coming from. We can't shun them. We just have to just teach them. You
Right.
understand? I just
True,
say
true, true,
maybe there's a better way to do it. But at the
true, true,
same
true.
time, don't shun them, because you can't make people, don't start to make people feel bad for actually expressing, because it's come from a good place. If they didn't care, they wouldn't be saying it. If they
You
didn't care,
see,
they wouldn't defend it. You understand what I'm saying?
of
So we have to
course,
learn to give your own people
of
grace
course.
as well. You understand? We have to be able to give each other grace,
You
right?
see,
So
this is why women is needed in the world. You guys are
yeah,
gonna
that's
be
right.
able you guys are gonna be able to see things from a more emotional side. You see, through me as a man now, I'm thinking more logical, like bro, you know how like tough love kind of thing. But you're saying don't shun them or what, just educate them and show them.
Right. But
So
the
which I
emotion
agree
is
with hundred
there.
percent. But you
But
see,
the
to me a
emotion,
man now, me attack tough and it
no,
sound
but
like I'm
that don't
shunning
mean
you, but
like
I'm not really shunning you.
but Mr. Gaza, that don't mean logic. Because logic means you want it to work out. And the best way for it to work out sometimes is to consider the emotions. Why? Because we are human beings.
True.
So
True.
it's still logical to think with emotions. Don't think that is just because you're a woman, you don't think logically. That's not true.
Well, yeah, 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 that's true, that's true. Let me correct
See what
that.
I'm
You're
saying?
right.
Yeah.
You're
But that's
right.
okay
You're right.
though. That's all right. But I do agree with what you're saying. Like we think differently. So we have to balance each other.
Yeah.
You understand? We have to balance each other. Right. But I do really want my platform to be able to teach everybody. You understand? I want people to be able to voice them opinion, feel comfortable here, even if them don't talk to each other on other platforms, even if they don't like each other, just don't disrespect each other. Everybody should learn. You never know whose mind might change when they learn more. But we have to make people feel like it is okay for them to be wrong so they can be more willing to learn, because a lot of people in the space, a lot of times I find when we explain something to them still holding on to the point, still holding on to the point, like them don't want to learn. And I'm thinking maybe it's the way how aggressive we talk to each other. I don't know what it is. What, you understand what I'm saying?
That's
I
the
don't
right
know.
word. That's the right, not logical, but aggressive.
Okay.
Men tend to be more aggressive and tough love,
Yes.
and so yeah. So the way how I said it, it come
Yeah.
off a little bit too aggressive and too harsh. You see what
Not
I'm saying?
too.
And but
Yeah.
we're basically saying the same thing. But yeah,
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
too. But you're not too. You are who you are. Listen,
Yeah.
we're different. You understand what I'm saying?
That's why
We're
I'm
not the
yeah.
same.
That's why I'm saying yeah. Woman is
Yeah,
needed because we have to have the balance there.
balance. That's right.
Have to have
Balance
the
is needed.
balance there.
That's
Hmm.
right. That's right.
But yeah, man, Miss
So
Julia, big up
bless
yourself.
up
This was
yourself and big up
amazing.
yourself. And
This
thanks for
was
coming.
amazing.
And thanks for everybody for coming. And yeah, we're going to do next week. We have an entrepreneur. We're going to interview her. But during the week or next week, I'm going to do a topic about the cultural self-esteem that we should have. Right. And listen, this live was not against any artist at all. I rate popcorn. Everything here is on tape and you can go back and listen to it. Right? But I'm just giving you the facts so you can connect your own dots. I'm not connecting the dots for you. Right? So no hard feelings from my end to anybody. Big up to all my supporters, the ones who are here and not here. Big up always to my brother Imhotep, right? He's always welcome here. He always have a place at my table. Big up to Misty. Big up to thank you, Slim Slim. Big up Rohan Noble. And big up Mr. Big up Gaza Uncle for passing through and for sharing his knowledge with us as well. Big up to State, right? Big up to all my Jamaican bloggers and Jamaican men who are here. Big up to Fire Nation and much respect and big up to the Gaza Nation. Yes, I'm allowed to be a little bit partial because hey, it's my party, so I can I can be passionate if I want to. Big up DJ. All right, guys, I'm gonna go and relax. Fire Nation, listen to me. You don't log off and go back to playing small. You take what you learned and you execute. This is why Fire Nation exists. To rise higher, to build smarter, and to change the financial future of our families. I'm Miss Julia, A.K.A. Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. And wherever you go next, you carry our fire with you. Fire Nation, we rise, we build, and we're just getting started.